broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host, Mike Roday, is in studio. He's the award-winning author and is our human behavior expert. Now, today we're live streaming on our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at TechTimeRadio.com and become a Patreon supporter at Patreon.com/TechTimeRadio. Now, we're friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right. This week on Tech Time Radio, we'll be exploring some of the groundbreaking developments that are set to change the way we interact with technology. CES 2025 has showcased some incredible inventions this year, and we'll be highlighting the best of the best from the groundbreaking gadgets to the most unusual and quirky items that caught our eye. Now, of course, we're going to have our best of the best from CES, and then we're going to have our crazy and unique items from CES. It's kind of becoming my favorite subject. Are you okay there, Mike? You got a little frog in your throat today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, if I start hacking up along, I'll step out of the
no big deal. All right. Okay. Well, now that's not all. We also have some new trends that are emerging in the entertainment industry that Mike will be talking about. We got some changes that can impact how we consume media and stay entertained. Plus, we have discussion on a unique educational initiative that'll making waves that'll make you be relevant to more about what you think about technology. And of course, you can't forget of our standard show items, includes Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan nugget. And of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. And it seems Mark has gone a little rogue today. He decided to bring in 3 whiskeys, so he must have something he's going to be here. But I can't wait to figure out what he has going for us.
He just wants to get us drunk.
Is that what it is? Yeah. All right. But now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. This is a non-profit privacy advocacy group that I think we're going to need to hear about and talk about in the coming future here. It's called None of Your Business, so they're known as NOYB. Now, they have filed 6 complaints against TikTok, AliExpress, Shein, Temu, WeChat, and Xiaomi for unlawfully transferring European users' data to China and infringing upon the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation. Yep. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on this story.
The nonprofit privacy advocacy group None of Your Business has filed complaints at data protection authorities in Greece, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Austria on behalf of users in the same countries. In the documents, the nonprofit highlights that China collects citizen data aggressively and processes it without restrictions, which is against European Union's data protection law. According to the GDPR, data transfers outside the European space should only be allowed as exceptions, and proof that the data is strictly protected from unauthorized state or other access needs to be produced. Sounds like a sticky situation. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, so let's talk about this. This is all up in the air, right? So given that China is an authoritarian surveillance state, it is crystal clear that China doesn't offer the same level of data protection as the EU, right? That's what's stated in the NOYB's data protection complaint. According to them, the Chinese companies are violating Chapter 5 of the GDPR, specifically Article 44, with the general transfer principles. Also, Article 46 with lack of safeguards, and 46 on the failure to conduct adequate impact assessment. So talk a little bit about this. Is this concerning to us that this privacy group has decided to set petitions in these countries that China is taking the data and surveillancing the data? This kind of goes all the way back to the United States. Also, with the concerns with ByteDance and everything else that's going on, what is your feeling about this?
You're the Chinese rah-rah guy. What do you think?
Well, Odie and I were having a discussion about this just before we went on the air. So I am so torn. Here's my idea. If the United States has my data, do I feel more secure than if somebody across the pond feels for my data? And I say I don't feel as safe with the United States and Meta and all of their social media platforms having that data, because we know that they do sell it to the government, right? They sell that data that they get to the United States government.
Everything you do anymore online is being sold, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, whether you're in a car, whether you're in here, everything is being sold.
It feels like you're positive, especially when we talk about your favorite thing, TikTok.
Yeah,
is that the Chinese government, they don't care. They're just going to take everybody's data, and that's okay because everybody else has my data already.
Well, so again, okay. So what happens when a healthcare company gets compromised here in the United States?
It's already happened.
Yeah, well, I think every single one of the major large corporations that do medical care have been compromised. So we just are okay with that, and we're just like, oh,
I don't think anybody's okay with that, but we're in a place socially where we cannot be non-technological.
Okay,
we have to be online to do our jobs, to do our finances, to do almost everything, and that's the price that we pay, and that price is not big enough for most people that they're going to stop doing what they're doing. Okay. That's the only way. That's the only way this is going to stop, is if we get offline.
That's correct. I mean, you'd have to completely unplug, right? But you couldn't exist offline world now, because if I go and I do medical information, I have to sign up for my charts, right? So I got to sign up for that. Otherwise, they won't do anything. Yeah. If I want subscriptions,
if you want any of your data,
that's right. Unless you're a Luddite and want to go out in the backwoods and live Grizzly Adams life, you're not going to be able to get away from this stuff. So it comes down to, are you okay with the U.S. government having your data, or is it okay that China is obviously, and they don't really care that anybody knows it, they're taking your data?
Well, I wish it wasn't to that extreme. I wish you can still exist, partially online and partially offline.
Yeah.
Now there's no grace in the technology, like day-to-day life.
No.
You really have to be fully in, or you don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter, because AI is going to come along and replace you anyway. So.
Okay. All right. So, I'm glad that there's an advocacy group that is out there that's looking at this data.
I really doubt they have any power here.
So I don't think they do either. And it goes back to, is the consumer ever going to get the money for their data?
No.
Because if the consumer doesn't get it, and the lawyers get it, and this government authority gets it, and this person gets it, then really the consumers of this data that is being taken from is the people that don't.
I feel like you think that, in all of human history, the peasant class was the one that got all the benefits from things.
I guess that's not the case.
That is not the case.
Right, you're right. Okay. All right. Let's see if story number 2 can brighten our day. That's your story there, Mike?
Sure. Why not?
All
because,
right,
we love when people make really strange requests.
Okay.
So I think everybody knows, or everybody has heard, that executives on movies can really ruin a movie.
Yeah, they can. Right.
Well, it
sometimes directors, but most of the time it's the studio, or
we hear that all the time, is because they have a financial interest in the film. They get to make decisions about how the film's going to be shown or whatever. Well, it appears that Netflix is really going to try and ruin Netflix.
Okay.
Because there is...
Has it not already? Respectfully.
I don't know.
I don't know. I like some of the Netflix stuff still.
So there's a sort of rule in writing. It's called show, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this? Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Well, Netflix executives are telling their writers not to do that anymore. They're telling their writers to have their characters give expository speeches about what they're doing so they can...
Like monologues?
Yes. Kind of like monologues, so that people who aren't paying that much attention will know what's going on in the film.
Well, if you're not paying that much attention to the film, isn't that on you?
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
okay,
this is so dumb.
They
Netflix
want
is
people
so
to still be entertained even when they're not. Because I'm guilty of this, but I do this with my comfort shows that I've seen 100 times over that I don't need to be paying attention to the plot anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I rewatch Friends all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't tell me what's going on though.
Right. But
I'm Ross. I'm walking in the door.
Yes, but that's something that, again, like you just said, that's been on for ages. You know what's going to happen now. The new stuff that's on Netflix wants you to watch other stuff, is what I'm assuming.
Okay,
is happening.
Yeah, they want you to, they're thinking that this is going to solve the problem of you
staying with the comfort show. No,
it's stupid.
I agree.
It's the dumbest. It's the dumbest.
All right, tell
ever.
us more. Tell us more. What's going on here?
Well, they have been telling their screenwriters to have characters announce what they're doing so that viewers who have a program on in the background can follow along without having to miss plot strands.
Okay.
There's barely been any pushback until now. So several screenwriters who've worked for the streamer are telling the outlet that a common note from the company executives is to do this. And after all, focusing your time on a 90-minute movie is certainly not an option for the token Netflix viewer. An example of it is from their #1 hit movie Irish Wish, starring Lindsay Lohan. I don't know how that became #1, but hey. Hey, we spent a day together, Lohan tells her lover James in Irish Wish. I admit it was a beautiful day filled with dramatic vistas and romantic rain, but that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. Tomorrow I'm marrying Paul. Fine, he responds, that will be the last you see of me because after this job is over, I'm going off to Bolivia to photograph an endangered tree lizard.
Okay.
Do you not understand how stupid that is?
Okay. That sounds like poor writing.
It sounds like poor writing.
Which is why that movie did so well, because it's a bad movie. It was
probably generated by AI.
Yeah, well, no, AI would not have generated it that bad. They would not have said, I'm going over here and I'm going to photograph an endangered tree lizard.
I'm sure they could.
Well, maybe Grok do that. I don't know. I think OpenAI would be
anyway.
Stop defending AI.
So with that being said, what?
That's just what's happening.
Okay,
right.
So how do you feel about
that?
You've written screenplays, right?
No, I've not written. I don't write screenplays, but I am a writer. I've written books and stories and articles and things like that. So I've been writing, and this is one of the most this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard of.
All right, so you're not a big fan of Netflix's.
No, this is dumb.
Okay,
it's stupid.
All right, okay, there you go. I get you. Let's go to story number 3. This is great. GM has recently settled with the FTC over allegations that it misled drivers by collecting and sharing their personal data without disclosure. Now, we've talked about this ongoing for the last probably 2.5 years. So this is not something new to our listeners.
No,
but if you're a new listener,
we've talked about OnStar.
Yep, OnStar, a GM subsidiary, gathered extensive driver data such as speed, sharp turns, hard braking, and seatbelt usage, and shared this with consumer reporting agencies. Now, the Texas Attorney General's lawsuits has claimed that GM pressured drivers into enrolling onto OnStar Smart Driver by stating that it has some safety features that would be disabled otherwise. However, drivers were not informed that their data would be collected and sold to insurers, which included a national rise on drivers' insurance. So, again, I go back to the whole thing here. How is this going to financially be paid back to the poor people that signed up? Because OnStar is not free. It's an additional paid service They sold their information out there, and only now, under pressure, is GM saying that they're going to take it away. And they say that they're going to work to educate users more on their vehicles. Well, here's the problem: is if you sign this privacy agreement to use OnStar, to use any of these GM vehicles that they have this service into, whether you opt in or opt out, they're still tracking your data. And the next thing is some of these new contracts, if you want to buy a GM car, if you don't sign that contract, Mike, guess what? You can't purchase a new vehicle. So
yes, I know.
So
I used to pressure people into getting OnStar.
There you go. All right, there you go.
And you will be pressured to get OnStar because that's part of the salesman's job, is to get you onto because you get a free trial.
Yeah. And then if you stay on, do you get a residual as a salesperson if you sell it that way?
Not OnStar, but that's part of your commission. That's part of your commission is getting all these upsells on things.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go to story number 4.
So story number 4 is about K College is now teaching students how to talk on the phone as a class. As a class, okay?
Okay.
So one college in the United Kingdom is offering a course to help students get over their phone fears. According to the BBC, Nottingham College is offering training sessions designed to help pupils gain some confidence when yapping into the phone.
All right.
Some of these students may even have a phobia of talking on the phone, which even has a name, telephobia.
Okay.
They spoke with a 17-year-old student named Elvie, who says, the only people I'll call on the phone are my mom or dad. But anyone else, I don't want them to call me because it feels quite formal, and that's not something I'm used to. It's unknown to our generation. We've grown up texting each other. And as somebody who grew up in this generation.
Okay. That's why you have this story here. Do you feel comfortable talking on the phone?
Yes and no. It depends.
Okay.
I will say what I prefer, because okay, so here's the best relation I can have with this. My sister suffers from social anxiety.
Okay.
She hates calling on the phone because of the unpredictability of it. And that's also why I hate talking on the phone. When it's with someone who I'm comfortable with, aka my mom and dad or my siblings, I can be on the phone for hours because there's no, what do you call that? There's no sense of, oh, I really need to have the most perfect response with them. I could just blab and blab for hours. Versus if I'm on the phone with the doctor, that stresses me out because it's often, for my own personality, I feel bad for asking for them to further explain something or something completely slips my mind. And I don't have the confidence to then say, oh, hey, let's cut back to that real quick. When is my appointment again? What do I need to bring? So I've often hung up on the phone call after I spent like an hour waiting, trying to get an appointment, trying to speak to an actual human representative, to then get off the phone and be like, darn, I forgot some key points that I really wanted to bring up. Hence,
see, that's so interesting. That's a really good example of social evolution and how we are changed, our behavior is changed by the environment in which we live in. I hate getting on the phone because I can't talk to a human being.
Yes, that is another thing that I hate.
So I'd rather a human being I can talk much quicker to. I can get things taken care of. So and I grew up with the telephone stretched 20-foot cord into the sub room and talking to the girls and talking to my buddies and everything on the phone. That was our only communication because we didn't have computers. So it's easier. Texting for me is much more difficult. And the voice to text, I don't ever check it. So I get words, I get texts that are just crazy words.
Well, you can't talk anyway, so that's probably a problem.
I identify as a zillennial because I'm on the cusp of the end of the millennials,
Yeah.
I remember when minutes were a thing. I still remember that.
Yeah.
And I also had a answering machine at home.
Yeah.
I remember having a home phone. That's actually becoming a thing again.
Yeah.
I remember all that. And I will say, I'm probably the last one to remember having to tell my friends, like, oh, hey, call my home phone, leave a message, then my parents will hear it, and then da-da-da-da. So I still remember phone etiquette and all that. But my sister, who grew up more heavily who was only 2 years younger than me, she didn't really have the home phone experience.
Yeah.
Yes, it was still a thing, but it wasn't that big of a thing for her because, flip phones were more accessible and more of the norm for kids her age at that time.
So let's go back to the story. Would you actually attend a class in college?
No, because I don't need it, but I can definitely see my sister
and other
wanting
people
to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
And someone like my younger brother who is 15, I could definitely see him doing that.
All right.
This is a college level
This
class?
is a college level class.
I kind of feel a little...
Old?
No,
You just feel like you should know how to talk in it's a social
I don't know that
deal.
I don't know that we should be relying on colleges and universities to teach our children how to talk on a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, should we really? Is that really like a bizarre thing though? Because honestly, there is a lot of kids that graduate high school that don't have the foundational skills.
That's individual
for
I
the
work
real
with.
world.
If we need to have,
he will not talk on the phone. No matter what he does, he will not talk on the phone. Individual I work with. I won't say his name. I don't want to call his name out. But
If it needs to be some sort of educational track, then community colleges have these kind of weird little classes that you can take to do stuff. That might be an option, but maybe it should be addressed sooner. Maybe in secondary ed or something like that.
There you go.
But the issue again, it's not used day to day. Like I know culturally for me, it's something where I grew up watching my mom call all her siblings and be like, "Oh, this is what happened this week." Blah, 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 blah. So I saw that and I witnessed that, and that's what I do with my sister, even though that we live together.
Well, the conflict is not your personal use of the phone call, but when you get into the career world, the phone is still a cornerstone of what we do.
Not as much though. Think about it. You said it yourself. You spend your time on customer service hoping for that human interaction. Why? Because it's usually just some AI bot that is going through the fake typing emotions on the background.
That's your experience as a customer. But when you're sitting at a desk doing your job, you're more than likely going to have a phone sitting there unless you're in the tech world. I don't even know if that's but
a lot of offices
they use Discord and Slack all the time nowadays to communicate with each other. But I have a phone that I have to use, but then again, I'm in the social services arena.
Through email?
What?
Don't you usually send your primary correspondence through email?
Yeah, I do. But young kids don't, though. They do it in text. I send my kids both emails. They never, ever look at the emails. But if I text them, then they'll respond.
Oh, yeah, instantaneous.
Yeah, it's
but
just crazy.
You can't do sales with an email. You can't do sales with text. So you have to use the phone. Yep. A lot of industries still require a voice-to-voice sort of situation. So... This is why this is a necessary piece, is that the evolution here is that socially you're doing this, you're learning this technology from a personal use aspect, but then when you get and this is the same for other
this
aspects.
Mike's mesmerizing moment.
I guess this is the same aspect. This is the same aspect as many things that are affecting the work world.
Yeah.
Like dependability, not showing up when you just don't want to.
That's a big thing in my generation.
Yeah, you just call out.
Yeah, the idea that you actually have to work.
Just don't show up.
Yeah, I'm just going to show up. All right. Well, we can't solve all of the world's problems today. We'll continue to do that. But
I just did.
Okay, there you go. That ends our
top. Get rid of all the technology.
That ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, we have the best of the best from CES TechTime Radio's review. We're going to share information regarding the Consumer Electronics Show on both the best of the best and the craziest. All right, you're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you after this commercial break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, has got a crazy event going on here. We have 3 whiskeys, so you're going to have to tell us, Mark, what do we have today?
Oh, today is a special day. Today is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. And this is a special picks battle.
Okay.
So they're all the same whiskey.
No way. These are all the same whiskey?
These are all the same whiskey.
No,
they're just single barrels.
Really? They taste. There's a big difference between green and red.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you that. Okay.
All right. Now, from Jack Daniel's website, this annual special release single barrel proof rye celebrates the early craftsmanship of the Jack Daniel distillery, honoring a time when American whiskey was often high in rye content and offered at barrel strength. Bottled in its purest form right from the barrel and uncut at full proof, it's packed with Jack character with their signature smooth finish. Proof will range from 125 to 140, depending on which bottle you pick up. Complex flavors of ripe fruit mingled with a light toasted oak note to create a rich taste with spice and pleasant lingering finish. Now, this is released from Brown-Forman. Of course, it's done in the Jack Daniel Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It is a rye. It's non-age stated, but all these are soon to be at least 4 years old. It is 70% rye, 18% corn, 12% malted barley, and they go for about $60.
So what makes them taste different?
Yeah, there's a huge difference. There's a huge
So if you remember on some past shows when we've talked about single barrels, that this is the way to express to people to show them why single barrels have such a different influence.
Okay.
So just where they're stored in the warehouse, the particular barrel they're in.
Are you going to explain each of the barrels that it gets done in our whiskey?
Yeah, one barrel's named is
our whiskey
Nathan.
mumble.
Yeah, I do a little bit during the month.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, don't forget to like and subscribe. In addition, please comment. Let us know if there's a whiskey you want us to review, and drink responsibly. Heaven can wait.
There you go. Wow. I'll just tell you, there's one that is just killer. There's one that I could handle, and there's one I think that's pretty smooth. So we'll see.
Okay.
With our first whiskey tasting completed, or 3, let's move on to our feature segment today. We have the best of the best from CES. Let's start our next segment.
Welcome to the best of the best for CES 2025, presented by TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with the best new laptop. Imagine a laptop screen that can expand on command. This is amazing. The portable display is the ThinkPad Plus Gen 6 that offers a truly unique solution. With the touch of a button, the world's first rollable laptop OLED display grows from 14 inches to 16.7 inches.
I saw this on Fallon.
Yeah?
Pretty cool.
You saw this on Fallon?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
How does it grow? What
Did they make jokes about it? Because I certainly got some jokes.
So, laptop, it grows up.
Yes.
Yes, I have a picture
It
of
looks
this.
funny.
It does look funny.
But it also looks really cool.
It's really cool. So the idea of this is, let's say you have a lengthy document, a PDF. Now all of a sudden, instead of you have to scroll and scroll, you actually have the screen scroll up. And
so
then
your computer gets excited about PDFs, does it?
Oh, wow.
How do you make it grow? What do you do?
Well, you hit a button on it and it expands.
Just touch it.
All right.
You gotta turn it on, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Odie.
All right. So it includes an Intel Core Ultra processor with Wi-Fi 7 networking. Now, the problem is this multitasking laptop comes with a pretty premium price tag of almost $3,500.
Yeah, wait till next year. It'll be lower.
It'll be lower. But this is actually kind of a cool. And you know what? I think Lenovo has an idea on this, because this first model goes up. I can actually see them having it grow and having it expand so that you actually get larger screens on you guys. Okay. All right. All right.
Sorry. It was just there. It was right there.
The Lenovo Legend GS. Now, we actually talked about this before it actually happened. Is a gaming handheld that we've been anticipating. It comes
You've
with
been anticipating.
Well, the first party to time that they've had a third party that can now run the Steam OS, the same operating system that you get on the Steam Deck. And if you don't want that on this little handheld, which looks exactly like a Steam Deck, you can actually get a unit with Windows 11 with Microsoft's OS. The Legion GS boots unibody design. We're going the detachable controllers. It's all in one, just like the current Steam Deck. Price is $599 for the Windows 11 version and $499 for the Steam OS version.
How much is a Steam Deck?
Well, Steam Deck's right now is $329, $399.
Get a Steam Deck.
That's the Steam Deck's maybe. Well,
it's the same thing. Get a Steam Deck.
Well, the idea of this is that you now have a D-pad, and the Steam Deck doesn't have a D-pad. It has a controller, so you now.
Yeah, Mike, it's all about being innovative for 2025.
It's all about buttons that you can touch.
That's right. That's right. Well, speaking about buttons, let's talk about a robot vacuum. Now, this was going to be on my weird area, but then actually I did more and more research, and so I moved it on to kind of like the best. So this is called Roborock SARS Z70. It's the robot vacuum that actually can detect objects like socks and shoes in their path, navigate to them, and the robot vacuum actually picks them up. That's right. It's equipped with a claw-mounted arm at the end of the robotic unit. It can actually go and pick up and move your laundry into obstacles that they find available for you.
Can they put them in a pile somewhere?
Yeah. So you can have an area that the robotic arm will go and pick up your socks, your shoes, drop it off into a pile, and it still does an excellent job of cleaning the floor. And it includes mop heads that are kind of the new item with this, where they can put water into it and it actually can clean up and mop your floor at the same time.
Are we going to see this in the Mumm home soon?
Oh boy, I was looking at this as a weird event, and then the more and more I thought about it,
these are all things that we're never going to see.
Well, I don't know. I like that. I actually like the So that's why it moved from the crazy into my.
Wasn't there something that we did something with laundry where something moved your laundry around or?
We did it from the UK. That was a deal where you would actually take the laundry from the washing machine and move it into the drying unit.
Yeah.
So is the claw always out, or just
it retracts? It retracts.
So it grows.
It grows too.
Oh wow!
Have you seen Star Wars Rebels?
Yes, I have.
Okay, this would be Chopper.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for this. If you get this, I will be over all the time.
Are they going to have a bad attitude about stuff?
No.
That would really make it Chopper.
There you go. All right. Well, so listen to this next company. Singapore startup Flint has developed a flexible, rechargeable paper battery that can be as small as a coin and embedded in a smartwatch strap. It uses cellulose for ion transferring, making it environment friendly. And according to the co-founder, Carlo Charles, their supply chain is abundant as they don't require a rare or toxic material. The batteries are biodegradable within 6 weeks. It can even compose feed your plants. Flint is currently focused on a smaller consumer electronics, but sees potential for scaling up to smartphones and larger applications like electric cars and planes. The thin design allows layering, just like a paper, if you get 5 or 6 pieces of paper, on top of each other without the fire hazards of lithium ion.
Oh, okay. So what's the supply chain?
The supply chain is paper.
And where does paper come from?
Trees.
And where do we have abundant trees that are being deforested all over the place?
Okay. Hang on. Okay. All right. Here's another one of the best products from CES. It's called the HMD Off-Grid. Now, if you own a smartphone like an iPhone 16 or a Google Pixel 9, you might already have access to satellite communications. If you're in an emergency, think of a climber, a hiker, the jogger that's out in remote areas.
Looking around this room, I can't not picture that.
I cannot picture that.
Yeah. Well, I'm out in the middle of nowhere every day. Can't you tell?
Okay, but for most of us, this feature has been absent on our devices, leaving us vulnerable if reception goes down. Actually, if you just go across the mountains in Washington State, your reception goes down. So this would help you with that.
If you go to a spot in my apartment,
it goes down.
It goes down.
All right. Well, HMD's off-grid accessory addresses this gap with a $200 dongle. You can send texts and reach emergency servers from any iPhone or Android device. However, there's a subscription for monthly service that is required, costing at $80 per year. But you can actually do it per month type of deals. You don't have to pay the whole $80, but that's the cheaper way to do it. So for $80, if you're a hiker, a kayaker, jogger, somebody that is out into the area, this is a replacement for that satellite phone that some of these places used to carry around. Now you get access to a satellite if you need an emergency call to use their service. I like this. Now, iPhone 16 and the new Android devices are kind of being built into this, and they're actually leasing space in satellites to do this. So it may be a great feature for the next 4 or 5 years, and it may just become all incorporating into the new product designs. But there we go. What did you have to say there, Odie? You were excited about that?
My dad is an avid hiker / camper. This would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how it would compete with the already on the market items, though.
So,
like, I think it's called Garmin.
Yeah, Garmin has a remote device that's available there too. The thing is, it's the dongle, and so the dongle you just plug into your phone.
See, that would be nicer instead of having the whole.
You have to connect with it. You have to do Bluetooth to it, so it makes it easier. You just plug it in, boom, it's ready to go. So I see that functionality and just being simple to use, well worth it than me trying to connect to this device and then having it available.
I will say I haven't been able. Every time my dad has sent that, like, this is where we are text.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing for me to try to figure out where he is.
There you go.
I think this is valuable, but once again, I think it's a transition period before these actually get built in.
Yeah. And we did say that we think the satellite's going to be kind of the satellite phones with Musk and all of his Starlink.
What's the next story?
All right. The gaming Pixel Lite, a light bright for the 21st century, unveiled at CES 2025. The Govee, Govee gaming Pixel Lite is a panel that showcases pixel art and built-in video game-related content. It's the first to support text-to-light, AI-generated lighting effects, letting you type what you want on the Govee app, and it appears on the board. So you can upload animated GIFs or images for a retro touch. This is the perfect wall-mounted or tabletop display.
So it's like a fancy picture frame.
Well, no, it's kind of like a stock ticker. Or something
it's like a little stock banner that you can sit at your desk and program.
You can see information for weather, sports schedules, stock quotes, a bunch of different stuff. So it's okay. Okay,
I don't know why this. Oh wait, this is Nathan's list. That's
Nathan's list. Absolutely, yeah. All right, we have
probably should. Never mind.
No,
you probably shouldn't open up your list with a growing screen.
Okay. Well, okay. The ExoMotion, the world's most advanced wearable robotic exoskeleton, is designed to assist patients with mobility issues, including spinal cord injuries, stroke, or other neurological conditions. Created by the Vancouver-based Human in Motion Robots, Inc., this is a lower limb device that aids in standing and walking through self-balancing and hands-free functionality. It's intended to use in rehab centers and hospitals to reduce the cognitive load and physical strain on therapists. XMotion has received Health Canada approval and is currently in clinical trials for FDA approval in the United States.
See, that's what you should have started with. That's a good one. That's a nice.
Well, the best of the best.
It's a great one, but until you got to the middle of it, I thought it was going to be like one of those disco robots.
I was waiting.
Robots. I stayed off robots because I know how much Mike likes robots at CES. There's a whole bunch of it.
I was waiting for it to devolve further.
It'd be interesting to talk more with.
Well, this is the
James.
best of the best of the best.
James might
CS.
know about this.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go just briefly into Mike's mesmerizing moment to see what Mike liked. Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today? All right, Mike. Which of these items did you like the best? This is mesmerizing. Well, you already talked. You had your whole thing in the main show of your really mesmerizing moment.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think the best one on this list is the XMotion stuff. ExoMotion. Although for pure comedic resolve, the very first one was probably the best.
The laptop. The laptop. Okay. All right. There you go. All right.
But everything else, that's.
What is it?
I'm not a.
A Steam Deck.
I don't have a Steam Deck.
Art.
I don't hike or camp anymore, and when I did, I went to get away from all the electronic stuff. So
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for that inspirational.
I need a paper battery.
The paper battery is kind of cool.
I like the paper battery.
That's an interesting one. But I'm thinking in terms of where they're getting their paper and how much they're.
Yeah, but if it works, I would think it doesn't need new cut down trees. I'm sure it could be part of recycle stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so, because that's just one of those things that we get to learn about after all these wonderful innovations. Lithium mining became a huge problem after lithium batteries.
All right, well, we're going to head out here to a commercial break now. Would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to January 23rd, 1996. Have you ever heard of the thing called Java? Java released and coffee drinkers were confused. The first version of the Java programming language was released. The ability of Java is to write once, run anywhere, made it ideal for internet-based applications, and every internet browser at that time adopted the Java plugins to have all of your internet be sourced. The popularity of the internet soared, and so did the usage of Java. All right, so that, and then it became a way that criminals could actually write code that would then maliciously cause issues, and now everybody has moved away from Java.
Now everybody hates Java.
That's right. All right, that was January 23rd, 1996. Well, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 220 plus weekly broadcasts spanning our 4+ years? You can check out our video, podcast, and blog information. You can also visit us online at techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have our Mark Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for, Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right, gentlemen, January 21st. What are we celebrating today?
Well, we have 3 Jim Beans here.
Jack Daniels, buddy.
Is it a Jack Daniels? Is it
Brother Jack,
Jack
Brother
Daniels.
Jim.
Sorry. Jack Daniels. Is it a Jack Daniels?
You want to give them a hint since they're not close?
What's that?
Okay, so part of this item, it's a 2-parter.
Okay.
You gifted me one of them for Christmas this year.
Ooh, good
socks?
hint.
Okay, that's part of it.
Okay.
It's National Sock Day?
No.
It's National Pick Up Your Socks with a Robot Arm Day?
No. What's your favorite food?
Lasagna.
Okay. What's on lasagna?
Cheese.
Okay.
Socks.
There we go.
Cheese socks.
Cheese socks.
What is that?
We got to it. I didn't think we would.
That's pretty good. Cheesy Sock Day.
Okay, cheesy sock
So
day.
this day that defines your personal taste and style.
Gross.
This
I take you in just to let you know if we're doing charades or anything like that. I take you as my partner. That was a good way. Okay.
It's all about loving and honoring cheesy sock patterns and how adorable they look on you. Yes, your love for cheesy socks is shared by thousands of people across the world, even myself. And now is the time that you can go out flaunting your favorite pair. And I wore one of my favorite pairs today.
I wish I would.
Really? I don't understand that logic.
I got my dad's
cheesy
socks for
I'm
Christmas.
going to wash them every day.
So my dad is
Wear them every day.
my dad moved to Texas.
Uh-huh.
And he's a big fan of President-elect Donald Trump. And there were these socks that were on sale, and it actually has his hair. So you actually put on
That's actually kind of funny.
And it was kind of funny. So you put on the socks, and they have this huge thing of this hair come over left and right, that it moves left or right. So
that's a little creepy, actually.
Is it? Well, it's not as creepy as some of our
kind of.
CES.
Although, if I could, do it the right way, I could sweep my floor and not worry about the robot.
There you go. Okay.
Every Tuesday, if you see me, I'll probably be wearing my taco socks.
Okay.
Taco Tuesday, yeah. Okay. And then today I'm wearing my octopuses. Because since we're drinking whiskey, I need more arms to grab, more glasses.
Okay.
I'd love to have 8 arms and 8 different whiskeys.
Okay. That would make.
I know where you can get a laptop that has a growing screen.
Mike wants that Lenovo. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, in recent years, novelty sock companies have created Jack Daniel themed socks too, perfect for whiskey lovers who want to express their passion for the iconic brand. Okay. These socks often feature the classic Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 logo, barrels, and whiskey glasses. Pairing these with the cheesy themed socks could be a playful nod to enjoying whiskey with a charcuterie board, a common pairing that often includes.
Is that a charcuterie?
Charcuterie is the English pronunciation.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, way to go.
So we have 3 picks for our whiskey today.
Yes.
Now they're all the same bourbon. They're all the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye at barrel strength. Okay. But since they're single barrels, they're all different barrels.
Yes.
So we have one of them is from the Bourbon Hounds. I find now that's one of the whiskey groups I'm part of.
Okay.
I find this one a little hot, masking the flavors.
Is that my red dot one?
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
Yet. Now a dash of water does help this one tremendously bring out the flavors.
Okay.
Number 2 and 3 are from another bourbon group I'm part of, and they're called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
Now, Dr. Jekyll, this is my favorite. I find it the most balanced and flavorful. Mr. Hyde is the favorite of that whiskey group because it's very spicy and bold. And I'm wondering which one Nathan and Mike are going to choose.
Oh, okay. So you got Jekyll and Hyde. So what I've learned from this is you're in 2 different whiskey groups.
Yeah, let's just say 2.
Is just say 2?
He probably is a closet, maybe 8 group whiskey.
8 group, I think so. Okay. All right. Well,
how many groups are there?
So thank you, Nathan. How does this pair?
All right. Whiskey and technology are a great pairing, just like popcorn in the movie theater. It's a perfect combination. Now let's go on to the movie of life in the form of the craziest things at CES.
And now for the strange, bizarre, and all-out crazy inventions from CES 2025, presented by TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Well, now that we finished the best of the best from CES for Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, now we're on to things that will make you go, with the unique, crazy, and weird items from CES. Now let's talk about the first one. It's called the Kirin Electric Salt Spoon.
Oh, I'm curious about this one.
Weird, yes. A little big for sure, but does it work? You bet. Instead of consuming flavorless food, because everybody's on a low sodium diet, now you can have your tastes simulated salt with the Kirin Smart Spoon, which sends an electric current through the utensil to your tongue, which tricks the taste buds into thinking your food is saltier than it is. The handle of the spoon houses the product's power and settings with 4 different saltiest options. The idea is that we'll think that we had salt, but it's not for those on a healthier diet.
Yeah, you can get the same thing by licking a 9-volt before you put food in your mouth.
But don't expect this Japanese product to ride to the U.S. anytime soon. Education software giant is having issues with this that they're taking a look at to see if they can actually have this available for the United States sooner than later. All right, continue.
I would have been interested in this before.
The salt type of deal. I you know what? It's a big spoon. I get the whole idea that you're trying to save on sodium. I don't know if I'm going to be okay with me having an electric simulation to my tongue to get that taken care of.
But I had an adrenal gland issue, so I had to cut out salt because it was.
It's not good for you.
I couldn't process it until my adrenal gland was pulled out, and so a lot of stuff was tough without salt.
Okay, all right. Number 2.
But you could lick a penny and get the same results.
Well, I guess that's okay. All right, the new Tribble. No CS event is complete without an adorable robot stealing our hearts. This year, the charmer is the Yaka Marima, a fluff ball of cuteness. Its main functions are looking cute and engaging. What?
Yeah, it's Yukai.
Yukai. I don't. You know what? It's not going to make a big difference because this is what it does. It engages with you in eye content. It'll occasionally make a coy glance at you to keep you intrigued. The expected cost is $80 for this to essentially be in your purse or case that just moves left and right. This is
so if you buy one, does it turn into hundreds?
It does not do.
And why do they call it the treble?
Well, that's what they were trying to say. It's kind of, in my opinion, a waste of time. I don't need to have.
What does this look like?
It's a fluffy thing.
It's a little fluffy thing that just sits around and stares at you.
Yes, that's all it does.
That's a cat.
Well, there's many different things that you can have for that, but this is
what's it called? The Yukai what?
The Yukai
Mirurumi.
Mirurumi. All right, so you get to take a look at it. I would not pay $80
Move
for
on.
this. Okay. The EcoFlow Power Hat. Do you want to look like a professor of Hogwarts while effortlessly charging a smartphone?
Yes, I always want to be able to charge my phone with my hat.
Well, then we have the hat for you. The EcoFlow Power Hat includes an embedded set of silicon solar cells and a pair of charging ports. It looks dorky for sure, but it's also pretty dang useful. It costs $129 and it's available right now. So this is a hat with plugins. This is a hat with plugins.
So you have cables that come down to your phone?
Well, you just plug it in. It goes into your hat so that you have your devices right next to your brain as you're walking around in this hat.
But is it, looks like a plug in, or is it a wireless charging where you just slide
no,
it
you have
in
to plug
hat?
it in. It plugs in.
Why did they do wireless charging?
I don't know. All right, so here we go. We have Odie
That's
decided.
a little creepy looking.
Isn't that creepy? That's $80. All right, Odie.
I think that's so cute.
Oh, well, okay.
I would buy it.
Okay.
Which, you know.
$80 on that? Just as sits in your purse
It
and it
just
goes
sits
back.
there and
it
just
sits
stares
there.
at you.
It just stares at you. I can buy a stuffed animal for $7 and
That's
put it
the
on my
same-
purse and do that. The same thing. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's what you could get me for Christmas next year.
Okay, there you go.
$7
That's the same
toy.
thing that those little robots used to do. What were those little?
Oh my God, Furbies?
Furbies.
Furbies.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Furby actually had an interaction though.
Oh,
Actually,
this is
Well,
an
yeah,
interact-
I know because
it just stares at you. That's it.
So
You're-
what's robotic about it?
Well, the head will move left and right.
the head moves.
So okay, get me a Furby for
Okay, well, that'd be a better use of
yeah,
your
just
money.
you're sitting there and suddenly like it turns its head around 3 times.
All
and
right,
it stares at
here you go. Get
That's-
ready for this item here, Odie. The next one. We have the Star Trek tricorder. It's called the Mecha System Comet. It's a handheld, the Mecha MECHA System Comet. It's a handheld computer of your dreams. This compact, modular, Linux-based device is perfect for the hobbyist. And it features a 1.8 gigahertz ARM64 quad-core processor, 32 gigabytes of storage, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Everything is expandable and customizable. A magnetic snap interface allows the users to clip on various control panels to see if the Comet will soon be available on Kickstarter.
What am I going to do
for
on this thing?
$160. It's like it looks like a tricorder from Star Trek.
What's it do?
A tricorder
It's
in
just a mini
Star
computer.
Trek is something that you use to figure out what's going on around you, right?
Yes, it's a mini computer. It's a mini computer built on the.
Is it going to take sensor
system.
readings of my
No.
my space and be like telling me, hey,
No, it's
there's
just all it does is it looks like a tricorder.
there's a Lenovo growing
No, you like that? All right, here we go. Here's the last.
that thing over there staring at me?
Here's the last of the weirds. Do you love your plants and wish
Yes.
you could communicate with them?
Oh my god!
Enter Petal from the makers of Bird Buddy. We actually had them on here 2 years ago. The Bird Buddy was the craziest thing. Yes, you remember. So it's Petal, the makers of Bird Buddy. Petal is a camera with a flexible stem you can place in your yard to monitor your plants and flowers. In 2025 style, it's AI powered to identify potential hazards like insects and bees. Plus, you can chat with your flowers via the Bird Buddy's chatbot to learn about your flowers day.
Oh my god!
There you go.
Nice.
All right, the pedal
Odie's doing that one.
is doing the pedal. I don't think. There you go, right there. That's it, right there.
Yeah,
I would.
You
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
that?
I'd get it for my sister. Maybe she could take care of her plants.
All right.
Well, the question is that you can talk to your plants, but does your plants talk to you?
well, it just has
You
some
know
AI
what?
things.
I'd
so
like
it's
to
gonna-
think that they do.
I know
So-
you would.
Hopefully, it doesn't have the Grok AI interface.
You know,
all right.
for grass screams when you cut it.
All right. Okay. All right. That ends our weird CS items.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, here's my nugget. Sometimes they're rants, sometimes they're educational. This one is kind of in between. AT&T has decided to end its 5G internet air service in New York due to the new Affordable Broadband Act, which went into effect on Wednesday. Existing users can now continue to use the service for 45 days without charges, allowing time to find an alternative providers. The Affordable Broadband Act required providers with over 20,000 customers to have affordable plans for low-income households. These plans must offer speeds of 25 megabits per second for $15 per month and 200 megabits for $20 per month. Rather than comply, AT&T has chosen to halt its service, citing uneconomical conditions for investment and expansion.
Yeah, that means it costs them money to do that program.
Yeah,
I'm glad I just left them.
Well, that's the decision follows the discontinuation of the federal Affordable Connectivity Program last year. I'm sure more cities will stop this service from AT&T in their process of doing that. So AT&T must be hurting for money is what I can say, because there's something about providing internet services at a low level. Internet service, once you have a pipe, and you get a fiber line that's going into it and you distribute the stuff, there is no additional cost. There's switchings and different items to that. But it's like water coming out of a hose. If I'm deciding to part half of the water to the left side of the hose or the right side of the hose, if it goes to the left side, I still have the same amount of water. It's costing me anything more to get the water that comes in there.
Yeah, it's just like all the low phone providers can do it. Like Mint Mobile does it for inexpensive, and they just piggyback off people's lines,
I guess you would have to get Ryan Reynolds to buy
No, Ryan Reynolds, clearly Ryan Reynolds is their spokesperson, right? But there's just somebody that understood how to do ones and zero numbers and put it together and said, hey, we can still make money if you do it this way. All right, now let's move to our pick of the day whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, gentlemen, we're drinking Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. We have 3 different single barrels here from Brown-Forman. They're all rye, at least 4 years old. They range from 128 to 132 proof and $60 per bottle, roughly, when you find it. What color is your favorite?
My palate is the red, and I think it's a little bit spicier. I think this is the spicy one.
And which one was your favorite?
I like the green one.
All right, so red is my favorite, Mr. Hyde.
Okay.
And yours was yellow. What?
Green.
Green. That was Dr. Jekyll.
Oh.
How about that?
So you're Dr. Jekyll and we're Mr. Hyde.
Any non-drinkable ones?
I did not like the green myself
yellow
at all. Yellow was just kind of eh.
I don't think it was non-drinkable. It was just the preferred profile was the green. They all at the end of the day, they tasted the same.
I love the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So your two are my two favorites. I like the one a little bit better, but depending on my mood. But the yellow one, which is the Bourbon Hounds one, it's good, but not quite to the same level.
It wasn't that. That's right. You know what? We want to thank our listeners for joining the program. Listeners, we want to hear from you. So join us at techtimeradio.com. Be a caller and ask us a question on technology in our talkback recording system. And always stay connected by signing up for our newsletters and our information. You know what, guys? This was a great show today. CES is always an interesting deal. We should actually do a show live from there. Maybe that's our goal for next year. Well, from all of us here at TechTime Radio, remember the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic